trainers as well making their way here today in Ryan Hill and Steph Vahala as well. So very interesting to see how everyone will perform on today's program. As mentioned, it is quite chilly here today. It's 19 degrees and the wind has just picked up, so that chill factor is starting to kick in. I see a few beanies getting around and big jackets, whereas Roburn, 30 degrees and sunny. So complete opposite up there to what we have here. But other than that, it's going to be a great day of racing. The track is a good 4. The rail is out at the 1 metre, and really quite nice sized fields as well for the program. We see a lot of races as well named after, in memory of some people that have passed away as of recent years. It's also John Lugg's birthday. It's his 76th birthday. He's got one runner in today in the first as well. So it's a day of remembrance and celebration throughout not only the KBRC but also up at the Norwest Jockey Club as well. We're remembering a few very good long-term Pilbara men and women as well up there. But looking at better bets on today's program, focusing now just on Kalgoorlie. Riley, what are we liking today?
Yeah, I thought it was a bit of a tricky day for betting propositions, Tessa. I did think a couple of favourites would be hard to beat for Peter Fernie, and I'm happy to make them a little double play in races 3 and 4. I think Close at Hand is going to prove to be a very handy acquisition for Pete and his team here at the KBRC. He's been racing really well in town in much stronger races than what he faces here this afternoon, and he gets in very well at the weights as well with just 54.5 kilos on his back. So I do think he's going to prove very hard to beat. He is very short in the market, but hence why we're looking at trying to roll him into feuding in race number 4 as well. I loved his run last start. He's yet to miss the money in 7 runs here at Kalgoorlie. He loves racing here at the track, and I thought it looked the most winnable race for him in quite some time. So happy to play a little multi races 3 and 4 Close at Hand into feuding. That'll get you around $3.80 with Tab Touch at the moment. I thought that looked one of the better plays on the program, and also pretty keen in race 5 on Pray With You for Ricky Brown. I thought this horse's run last start was really good, given he just got a mile back in running. He was able to close off and almost grab them over the concluding stages there. Thought today from a much better barrier he could hold up a little bit closer in running and potentially go one better. So Pray With You, the main play for me from a singles perspective, but happy to play a little multi in races 3 and 4 with a couple of short price favourites I think look very hard to beat in Close at Hand and also feuding.
Should be quite a good day for punting as well. I know, Riley, you and I love to have a bit of a play around with a quaddie as well, so we'll get your full insights in the quaddie a little bit later on today's program. Runners have just entered the yard though ahead of race number 1 here at the Kalgoorlie Boulder Racing Club. Remembering Pam Beatson, Maiden. Ryan, her son, is the clerk of scales here. He's named this race after his past mother, which is a fantastic opportunity to remember and celebrate her life, and he obviously works in very, very hard behind the scenes here. The Maiden is over the 1100 metres. The 1 is Beyond the Wall for Luke Fernie and Alicia Whittington.
And this is our favourite here in race number 1, Tessa, Beyond the Wall, who is first up this afternoon, and his form on paper reads up really well for a race of this nature. He ran 3rd at Northam in a maiden last campaign. He was beaten a length by Let's Talk on that occasion, who was a horse that has not only won again, but has gone into Saturday company and won as well, and really gone on with it. He's a very quick horse as well. He'll push forward from barrier 6. I think he looks likely to park right over the speed, and I do think if he can find the front here, it looks a really good kick-off point for him. He will be hard to beat, but there is a little bit of depth in this small field.
The 2 is Ginger Fizz, Stefan Vahala, and now rider replacement, Troy Turner.
Just got a little bit too far back last start at his first run back for the campaign, Ginger Fizz. He took on a 3-year-old maiden at Northam over the 1100 metres. He drew very wide on that occasion. He got a long way back and he was able to make no impression on that race. I thought his trial prior to that at Belmont Park was really solid behind Dance With Me, who looks a horse with some ability. I think he can settle a lot closer here in running today from barrier 4 with Troy Turner jumping on board, and thought at the early price, he looked over the odds, he went up $31, and some punters were happy to take that as well, Tessa.
The 3 is Poet and I Know It, having first start today for birthday boy John Lugg, and Lucy Fury is the replacement rider of Alex Hearn.
I like the trial of this 3-year-old gelding who is on debut today, and while it may say he ran 4th of 5 horses in that trial, it was a trial that included horses that have all won races or multiple races in their career. It certainly wasn't a maiden trial, and he wasn't fully extended in that trial either. He was given a nice quiet hit out under Kira Yule. Lucy Fiore replaces the indisposed Alex Hearn today. Showed some good tactical speed in that trial as well. I think he can hold a really strong position in running from barrier 2, and he could certainly surprise on debut for Johnny Lugg, who we wish a very happy birthday.
There has been a bit of support there as well. $15 into $6 on the Tab Touch market. The 4 is Classic Code, Paul Tapper and Chris Nicoll.
Worked home well last start, Classic Code, this 5-year-old mare. She has had a few chances now, but she's still relatively lightly raced for a 5-year-old mare, only coming up for start number 8 here this afternoon. The winner was off and gone last start, and we're going to touch on her again a little bit later on today, Tess, in Carn Up Queen. She was very impressive in that dominant display. Thought the barrier looked a little bit tricky for her here today in the small field, and don't love the fact that she's back in trip as well to the 1100 metres, when I thought that her best work late last start was over the concluding stages. She is getting closer, but I'm just not sure this is the right setup for her.
The 5 is Alabama Elegance. First up today, Ryan Hill and Victoria Culver.
Got a bit of time for this filly, Alabama Elegance. She started 550 in a 3-year-old maiden last preparation, which included horses like Deal Her In and Rocking the Jam, who are very talented 3-year-olds. We saw Deal Her In go on to win the listed challenge stakes going on from that race. So it's certainly a pretty strong maiden form reference. She ran some good races last time as well. She ran third at Bunbury over 1,200 metres behind Chino Ladiva, subsequent Saturday winner, third at Pinjarra, and a 3-year-old No Metro win race behind Sunshine Tafe as well. So she's certainly got some ability, this filly. I thought the recent trial, while it was a soft hit out, she trialled without her race day blinkers. Thought if this was a race over the 1,000 metres, she might be a little bit tested, but the 1100 suits her really well. And I think she's got the ability to win here if she's forward enough.
I know what the winning owners' drink of choice would be in the 6, Rose All Day here, Kerry Martin and Ava Caterino.
Just resumed out of her depth with this 3-year-old filly in a 3-year-old handicap over the 1,000 metres. She was beaten a long way, and that was certainly a little bit too tough for her. I thought she could be potentially the annoyance for Beyond the Wall, this horse, who certainly has plenty of tactical speed. If they want to lead, I thought they could, and she has drawn underneath our current favourite in the market as well. So potentially a bit of a fly in the ointment horse, Rose All Day, for the 1 Beyond the Wall. Back to a country maiden's going to suit her here. As mentioned, Tessa, she's got plenty of speed. She's got no weight on her back as well after Ava Caterino's claim, and could improve, I think, dropping sharply back in class.
And the 7 is Amira Girl, also having a debut race start today, David Smith and Lisa Staples.
On debut, as you mentioned, Tessa, and David Smith can certainly get these young, lightly raced horses going, as he has shown in recent seasons. But for mine, I just couldn't have her off her most recent trial. She was beaten 10 lengths in that trial and didn't really show a great deal in the run to the post. So while she has drawn softly on debut in barrier 1, I am looking elsewhere, and I'm happy to watch her here this afternoon.
We do have a new favourite now. Alabama Elegance is currently the favourite at $2.70 into $2.60. Beyond the Wall has drifted, is on the second line of betting after opening $1.85 into $1.75, now out to $2.90. Poet and I Know It on debut today for John Lugg, and Lucy Fury, the replacement rider, $15 into $5.50. A fair bit of support there. Amira Girl also on debut today, $21 into $10. Rose All Day, $15 into $8.50, now back out to $12. Classic Code at $5.50 out to $16. And Ginger Fizz, the outsider here, is $34 into $16. Riley, how are we seeing things play out in the opener?
I went 5-1, 3 and 2 here in race number 1 Test. Didn't have a lot of conviction here, but I did think it looked a nice race for Alabama Elegance if she is forward enough off that recent trial. It was a soft hit out. Didn't wear her race day blinkers in that trial, so that's certainly a positive, and she ran some really good races last time in, and there looks to be a little bit of speed here. There's certainly going to be some pressure. We've got fast horses like the 1 Beyond the Wall, 6 Rose All Day, and even the 3 Poet and I Know It on debut showed some good tactical speed in his recent trial as well. So I thought they might get along at a genuine enough gallop, which should allow Victoria Culver to just find a nice enough spot with this filly, and perhaps she might have the firepower to get over the top of her rivals over the concluding stages. So the 5 on top for me from the 1 Beyond the Wall, who the form is on the board with him. His best form would be winning this. Second behind Housewife in a 3-year-old maiden. Third behind Let's Talk in a maiden at Northam over the 1,000 metres. He's very quick. He's just going to have to get across Rose All Day, who I think might make him work if he is to find the top under Alicia Whittington. But if he is able to get across a bit easier than what I might think, then he's going to be very hard hard to run down. The 3 Poet and I Know It, I like that trial. John Lugg, I know, has a bit of an opinion of this 3-year-old as well. He's pretty well bred, and Lucy Fiore jumps on board for the indisposed Alex Hearn, so that's certainly not going to be any issue with Lucy jumping on board. And all of those horses around him in that recent trial are all winners as well, so it was certainly a much stronger trial in terms of class of opposition than what he meets here in Maiden company today. And the 2 in for 4th, Ginger Fizz at a big price. I thought his run was perhaps a bit better than what it reads in a pretty strong 3-year-old maiden there at Northern last start. I think you can rule a line through that run. He was just so far back and was never able to work into the contest. I liked his trial prior to that, and I think he's a horse that does have a little bit of ability. He just hasn't been able to put it together on race day just yet. So 5, 1, 3 and 2 my numbers here in race number 1. Big day of racing here across the state in WA Test at Kalgoorlie, but Kalgoorlie is our priority first and foremost, and I'm hoping Alabama Elegance can make it a winning start to the day for Ryan Hill and Vic Corver.
5, 1, 3 and 2 in the opener here at the Kalgoorlie Boulder Racing Club. If you're sitting at home watching TV in the Kalgoorlie region, you better make your way down. It's set to be a fantastic day of racing. Ryan Hill saddles up 3 horses here today, and we've got travelling stable representative in Ian Gladding here, who tells us how lucky he is with Ryan's horses when he's on the road. So best of luck to Ryan and the crew here in the opener. Alabama Elegance on top for Riley at $2.60 as we hand you upstairs and say a very good afternoon to Matt McDermott, calling home all the action.
Thank you, Tess. Afternoon all. Moving in now, the first of 7. Amira Girl, the first starter though, has other ideas. Lisa Staples has jumped off and she dug the heels in, but goes up now, Amira Girl. New favourite, Alabama Elegance at $2.60. Beyond the Wall now at $2.80, opened $1.85. And $6.50, Poet and I Know It, the debutante, open at $15. Troy Turner, new rider for 2. Lucy Fiore on to number 3. Alex Hearn not riding here today, nor Keshore Duran. And Fiore has jumped off Poet and I Know It, who will be led in riderless, the other first starter. Thanks, Stu. Good afternoon. This is the first leg of the first quaddie on Cancer Council WA Day and Memorial Day here too. And the first is remembering Pam Beatson, Maiden. Ginger Fizz about to go up. The opening favourite Beyond the Wall is awaiting his turn, and Alabama Elegance, the new favourite at $2.60 last look, the filly. Now $2.50 and $2.80 for Beyond the Wall. So favourite moving in, Alabama Elegance. Waiting on Classic Code and Beyond the Wall. As Beyond the Wall moves up and Classic Code about to go in. First quaddie building up, getting towards that 12,000 mark at last look. Starter is up on his stand, lights on. All clears given from behind, and away they go to a Butte line. Beyond the Wall's got their head in front early. Rose All Day is up into second from Poet and I Know It. Alabama Elegance also striding up. Amira Girl back on the inside. Classic Code is second last, and Ginger Fizz is the last one on settling down. They've got 7.50 to go and getting across Beyond the Wall to lead by a length and a half to 2 lengths over Alabama Elegance in second, and they got away there from Poet and I Know It on the outside of Rose All Day. Classic Code is next, a length to Amira Girl on the inside, and Ginger Fizz is the last one. Running down to the 600, Beyond the Wall leading about a length and a half. Poet and I Know It gradually improving on the outside. Alabama Elegance is back behind the lead. Classic Code to 4th, Rose All Day on the rail. Ginger Fizz sweeps wider. Amira Girl is the last one into the straight, as driving through now. Alabama Elegance along the inside has gone up to reach the lead at the 200. Poet and I Know It, Classic Code, Rose All Day is driving up behind them, and Ginger Fizz wider out. Classic Code had got to Alabama Elegance, hit the lead, and the Grey Bay. Classic Code from, I think, Rose All Day second, Photo third, Alabama Elegance, and Ginger Fizz wider out from Poet and I Know It, and Amira Girl was joined at the end of the field by the opening favourite Beyond the Wall, the last one. So Classic Code in the opener. Chris Nicoll for Paul Tapper. And the mare, number 4, in a time of 1:05.6. 6 has run second, Rose All Day. Ava Caterino for Kerry Martin. Now 2 has run third, Ginger Fizz, wider out. Troy Turner for Stefan Valhalla, and 5, fourth, Alabama Elegance, Vic Corber for Ryan Hill. So the interim numbers 4, 6, 2 and 5. Interim numbers 4, 6, 2 and 5. 5th, Poet and I Know It. And 6th was Emira Girl. 1:05.6. So Classic Code at start number 8, the 5-year-old. She's by War Chant out of Classic Smile, raced by Miss N. Jordan, P and Miss C. Tapper. 3 minors going into today. Second to Carnup Queen last start. And today's won by a length ahead, second to third, a length by a head. Rose All Day, the runner-up. Ava Caterino for Kerry Martin. The filly is a chestnut by I'm All the Talk out of Set in Motion. Raced by Mrs. C. Martin, P. Martin, Miss A. Martin, Dr. J. Martin, B. Martin and S. Fowler. And third across the line, Ginger Fizz. Troy Turner for Stefan Valhalla, and 4th to number 5, Alabama Elegance. So the winner on the totes is going to return 13.50 and 5.70, 8.20 second and no third. We'll head down to the mounting enclosure after the Remembering Pam Beatson Maiden and Classic Code with her first win at start number 8.
Thanks, Matt. I'm joined with a very, very happy Paul Tapper starting his very big day today off well. Paul, tell us a little bit about this horse, just talking off camera. Very strong relative to a very good horse.
Yes, Paul sister the Danny test. We were lucky to buy her for the price we paid, and absolute terrific ride then by Chris. And yeah, very rapt to have this horse.
Was a really good ride indeed. I know you've got a great association with Chris Nicoll. You've got a really big team in today. We got any good pushers later on in the day?
They're all very well today. So yeah. Oh geez, the Candyman goes well here. I gave him out before and he let me down, but yeah, he's well. Prize Jules extremely well. Yeah, we got a good team in.
Big team indeed. Where to next for this mare?
I haven't looked further than today, to be honest, but we were just rapt to get through today, and it's a good start. Always great to get off on a good start, and we love to win, so we're here to win.
Really nice type and a very bright future. Congratulations. Best of luck.
Much. Good on you.
There's Paul Tapper starting off his very big day on a great note here, Riley. Good ride, as mentioned, from Chris Nicoll, and a beautiful horse in the making.
Certainly was, and got a fair rap from the trainer as well, Tess. A very happy Paul Tapper with Chris Nicoll. Chris, that was a really nice start to the day with Classic Code. It looked as though they got along at a pretty good gallop in that race, and it probably worked in your favour that you were able to just sit back off the speed and finish over the top of them.
Yeah, it's nice when plans sort of don't go your way early and they work out in the end. I thought I'd follow the favourite across, but they were just way too quick for her early, and maybe used themselves up a bit, and she was right there to strike, come to the corner.
Do you think maybe the fact that she was back in trip today perhaps played into the part that she wasn't able to go with the sharper ones a little bit early? That's always our theory, so we'll go with that. But yeah, I think they sort of ran along at a good clip anyway, so it worked out for us. Still a relatively raced 5-year-old mare, only start number 8 for her today. Do you think there's still a little bit of progression with her to come in her racing? It felt like blinkers on yet as well. Just getting to the front, sort of layerised a little bit. Full sister to Danny Tess, I believe. So maybe a late mature and something there to work with from here. A late bloomer, certainly a bit of lineage there, Chris. Who would be the best of the rest for you today? You've got a pretty big book of rides for the remainder of the program. I think Hush now, and just in the Class 1, she's drawn well. You just ride her patient. She needs a bit of luck just to get out at the right time, but she's racing well enough. And Prize Jewel, of course, she's just sort of a good, consistent horse. I think she'll get to a reasonable grade eventually, but she's a couple of steps away yet, so today might be a chance. A couple of good chances later on the program, Chris, but well done on the start of the day. Congratulations. Thank you.
There's Chris Nicoll combining with Paul Tapper, building a very strong association here for the Kalgoorlie season. Classic Code takes out the remembering Pam Beatson Maiden over the 1100 metres. The full to dainty test only purchased for $8,000 as well. So very exciting to see where this grey War Chant mare will head to next. 4, 6, 2 and 5 with the numbers here in the opener at the Kalgoorlie Boulder Racing Club. Stick with us as we're not too far away from race 2, and then we head up to Roebourne for the first meeting of the season of the Norwest Jockey Club.